So I went to a couple of fast food joints recently. At one of them, which is Checkers, they had an AI voice telling me, asking me what I wanted. Um, and then when I got to the window, they gave me what I wanted. But today I went to a Wendy's and they did not have an AI voice, and they did have also not have um, enough Diet Coke to fill up my entire cup. For a large Diet Coke, they had run out of Diet Coke at that time. Um, Also, what I noticed at the Checkers was a few minutes after I went through the drive-through, they closed up the drive-through. It appears, or at least one lane, um, by blocking it off with this beautiful sign that says what you could buy, tomorrow, or if you go through the other lane or whatever. Also, when I go to McDonald's, I'm realizing that those amazing kiosks where you can order and then get people to give it to you, they're still there inside McDonald's, and there's still a drive-through. But it seems to me that they don't really have much staff, and so you sit there waiting for them to ask you over and over again, "What was it you were waiting for? What was it you were waiting for?" So, long and short, I'm seeing, I think, different ways to decrease staff and different ways to possibly draw down the amount of business they have, and maybe the disappearance of the staff inside down to eventually some very small building where you can just pump out burgers and have one person standing there, like they're in a what do you call them? Like a toll booth. Like maybe they'll just need one person for a toll booth, and eventually maybe they won't need anybody. So I started worrying a lot about the concept that they're using all this, what we consider amazing technology, but what really does cheapen the product, or a nicer way to say it is to make the product less expensive. So what that starts to mean to me, it sounds very bad. Like, I've been really worried about this. Like, nobody's going to have work, and so they're not going to be able to afford um, food and things like that. And I understand that there are grocery stores and that kind of thing, but I could imagine this kind of processes happening with those. And then maybe the really, really good fresh food will be provided almost like it is now. So, for example, if you want really, really fresh food, you pay a lot more money. And if you want clean food and food that doesn't have things in it or weren't raised in a way that hurt the environment or will hurt your body, you're going to have a little bit of money. Like, my wife and I can afford to go to these places. We're definitely not set for life, but but I'm saying that okay, so let's say everything starts to be done by AI, and that means maybe everybody still gets to eat, right? But maybe what happens is AI makes crap, right? That wasn't how I thought I was going to finish this, actually. AI makes crap, but what if AI makes really good stuff, right? So then, so then, what is the point? What is the medium of exchange that people can afford really good stuff made by AI, but that maybe the very wealthy, as it gets more and more separated between the rich and poor, can enjoy like the most amazing foods. Still, what would be the point, though, of continuing to run any business anywhere? And the only thing I can think of is that no matter what echelon you're at, you're still going to be exchanging food, labor, or you're going to products and labor and services for something else. Maybe the fact is, no matter how inhuman, meaning technological, and inhumane our methods of production turn into, there are always going to be people exchanging with other people because that's just our nature. We like novelty. We like beautiful things. We like interesting things. We like variety. And these aren't just to like something for a human being is exactly the same thing as needing something, because we're driven to get stuff, to fight not just hunger and illness, but to fight boredom, to get our kicks, baby, to get our rocks off. And so, like, now I am thinking, yeah, there might be some permanent underclasses like there are in so many countries. And definitely, we can see that the United States is not immune to that. We've manufactured the biggest wealth gap, I think, ever in existence. But I'm trying to figure out how bad it will look. Like, will they have these very, because think about it, what do rich people want? They want to be able to go anywhere they want, and when they go there they want to see nice crap. So maybe, I mean, if you think about it, compared to 4,000 years ago, everybody's quality of life now is much better, especially in developed nations. But in undeveloped nations, you could probably question my statement there. So, nevertheless, if it becomes easier and cheaper to do things without humans, that's bad, except, again, that this march toward a better quality of life will still be there. The only problem will be there will be people that are more bosses and people that are more bossed by the bosses, probably still. And maybe that'll become more stark in comparison, which is another thing we hate. We hate unfairness. Now, the question is, do we hate unfairness as much as we hate insufficiency? Or when we have a certain level of sufficiency, where we always have basically air conditioning, where we always have basically this, where we always have basically that, well, we always, sturdy homes, made out of materials that can't be blown apart by a hurricane or anything like that. And the rich have so much more, and the ability to fly to outer space and go find space hookers and space gigolos, because that's what they all want. I know it because I asked them, all the famous billionaires. And will we be sort of like, yeah, the billionaires have it freaking great, but we have it freaking good? So I hate to say it, but I would rather have a doom and gloom picture. But for the moment, just for this video, I have an optimistic picture. Again, I have many counterpoints to this. I really do believe that some people want to take advantage of people in weaker positions as part of the spectrum of our human desires. I think that's one of the things. And so hopefully I remember to make a video about that. But then again, you've seen that. You can see a lot of dystopian fiction to flesh that out for you. So maybe Jim Porter, not of my own volition, has come up with an optimistic picture that actually sounds realistic to me, but not necessarily inevitable. That's for sure. No. This is just a fiction, not a prediction.